Fala pessoal, de boa, continuando a nossa gameplay do Starfield, de onde paramos. E hoje vamos começar ali com a história do Barrett, né? Então vamos aí com todas as interações com ele e bora lá.
Vasco filled me in on what you said about the artifacts and the whole distortion of space and time thing. I'll admit, even I was surprised when everyone showed up to rescue me, saying that some Starborn told them where that pirate base was. You really do look exactly like that miner from Vectera. Let me guess. That was you in your original universe? So we kind of already know each other, in a way. You know what? I'm 100% on board. Not every day you get to meet someone who already knows everything about you. And why not? The whole point of going out into the unknown is to keep an open mind. So, how do we do this? I'll try to imagine it was you charging through the door to find me talking to Matsura the Grim. I'm sure you said something hilarious. Hey, I'm just glad I get to see a space-time defying being for myself up close. Always knew those artifacts were something. Finally! These new universes won't know what hit them. Forget about the Starborn and the Hunter. It's Barrett and company from here on out. Oddly enough, still not the strangest thing I've seen in the universe. Look, if this is a "are we doing this or not" talk, then stop right there. We're doing this. The multiverse waits for no one. Yeah, that's why I said it first. See you on the other side. Hey, Captain. Can I talk with you for a bit? Neon. You'd think it would be peaceful with all those calm waters and beautiful sunsets. But I can't think of any town that's more stressful. Reusion, Infinity Ltd. And there you were, navigating corporate bureaucracy like a professional. Humanity went to the stars and explored new worlds. And some still ended up sitting at desks all day long. Not sure if I should laugh or cry. Look, I know Neon is going to be Neon, no matter what any of us do about it. But I'm glad you put a stop to that neural amp tech. Nothing good was going to come from that. They could control groups, armies. They could have become a military power. I guess we'll find out if we can trust them if you suddenly start coming after all of us, huh? Oh, you know, just that experimental technology that you got installed in your head. Anyway, not that I care a ton about the internal politics of some ethically dubious megacorp, but... So, Masako, huh? I mean, between her and Ularu Chen, I get it, but you don't trust her, do you? Well, I trust you, and I'm glad the choice was yours and not mine. Anyway, you didn't happen to pick up any investment tips while you were in there? Just kidding. I don't even want to know. Space is so hostile to humanity already, and you made it just a little bit safer for everybody. No matter what you could have done differently, this will impact a lot of lives eventually. We'll have to mark it in the Constellation history books so we don't forget it when the Terramorphs are finally gone. So humble, too. People love that.
Squeak!
Balancing risk versus reward is tricky. Even more so when so much hangs in the balance. So, you really think the Asylees are going to work out, huh? You must have seen some data that I didn't. Everything has a chance to mutate, and most mutations are harmless. But I get it. It's scary. It's definitely riskier than dropping off some wild animals. Oh well, it's done. At least with the extermination of the Lazarus plant, the Asylees will have an easier time. Given the length of time needed to deploy the Asylees combined with the amount of time needed to hunt down all the Terramorphs, it's going to be a while before we know if that's enough. Hey, stranger. Let's chat sometime, okay? Well, if it isn't our own ranger. I hope you're not taking the job permanently. There's a lot less paperwork in Constellation. And the benefits are pretty good, too. Costume party coming up, huh? Anyway, it suits you. Anyway, I'm just glad Ron Hope is gone. Maybe he could have been rehabilitated. Maybe. But I just can't see that happening. And even if so, he couldn't remain in power over those people. Not after all that blood. It was a hard choice that you made, but I'm proud of you, Captain. I can't imagine how hard it was to be under all that pressure. A leader knows that protecting regular folk is not just a responsibility, but a privilege. And I'm proud to call you my captain. You're worried that you should have sided with a bunch of lying, murderous thieves? Hey, it's okay to second-guess yourself sometimes, but this isn't the time. You did right by us all. Modest, too. They're gonna make a statue out of you, or carve your face on a moon or something. What you did took nerves. Befriending Delgado like that, it was a huge risk. If he had gotten to you, convinced you to side with them, I don't know what we'd be dealing with right now. Do I think less of you for doing what you had to do to save countless lives in the settled systems? Let me think. Not even slightly. You're a damn hero for what you did. You better not ever think otherwise. Good. He deserved what he got for what he did and for what he would have done. And if they regroup after all this, they'll be weaker next time. All thanks to you. That's a worry for another day, boss. That's the hope and the dream. But if they do, we'll deal with it. Simple as that. One minute we're looking for an artifact, the next, you're walking through outdoor talking about the Starborn. Oh, I'm curious now too. What's on your mind? I think about it a lot. There's so many possibilities. Some wonderful, some terrifying. I'm not a fearful man, but I am just a man. And I'm keenly aware that this artifact could change my life. Or end it. Well, when I picked it up, I had no idea what it was. I knew it was something spectacular, though. I saw a vision. Flashing lights, the whole shebang. Well, they certainly mean something, because not everyone who touches the artifacts sees them. My first instinct was it was a message of some kind, like the Voyager records. Communication from a higher life form reaching out blindly into space. But now I'm wondering if the vision wasn't just sensory. My new theory is something's changed in us physiologically. As in not just a message from beyond, but a delivery. On Bendy? No, wait. It was Kazal. I can feel Lynn's admonishing stare boring a hole in my back. She's not actually standing behind me, is she? Well, point is, my story's probably a lot like yours. We dug a pit, found some really wonky readings, and followed them to the artifact. Sure. Like what? Let's see. I've been in Constellation for a long time, as you know. I enjoy cheese, my work, and long walks on unexplored planets. What else did you want to know about? Let me know if there's anything else. Do you have time to talk? I had a favor to ask. Thanks. This has been swirling in my brain goo for a while now. So, I've been pondering over what's happened and what it all means. And I've got a favor to ask. A teensy-weensy favor. About the size of a plank length, really. I think it's time I joined you in the physics-bending powers business. See if one of those temples works for more than just you. Marvelous. I'm glad you're as gung-ho about this as I am. As it so happens, I've already talked to Vladimir. Seems our eye in the sky is back up and running. He sent me the coordinates for the temple already. We just have to visit.
Beleza, né? E progredindo um pouco ali também com as interações dele. Claro que isso daí vai dependendo ali da sua exploração no game também. A gente já acaba liberando, né, uma missãozinha secundária com ele, que é relacionada ali a um dos poderes, né, que a gente obtém ali com o Estelar, só que o Barrett também recebe um, né, isso aí é bem legal e vamos lá então.
That's the temple. Barrett would have loved to see this.
Beleza, né, e aí a gente vai ali na localização marcada da missão, que é um templo, onde a gente já teve que fazer isso daqui diversas vezes, né, vamos dizer assim, na história principal. E pra gente colocar todos os poderes do Estelar ali também no nível 10, né? Porque essa parte aqui é um saco. E todo mundo já sabe, né? É uma das piores mecânicas de evoluir poder já criadas entre os games da Bethesda.
So, this is it. Just look at this.
Então a gente tem que resolver aquele famoso puzzle, né, da luzinha lá, que precisamos ir pegando elas aqui, certo? Rapaz, é aquele esquema, né? Eu, como já fiz isso daqui, beleza, vou fazer só uma vez, porque, pelo amor de Deus, né, não aguento mais. E graças a Deus, com a missão aqui dele, é só uma também, porque se precisasse fazer 10 vezes, nós tava na merda, viu? Porque, ô, mecânica horrível, velho, que é essa aqui que os caras fizeram, né? Mas, é aquilo, né, mano? Algumas coisas vão agradar a gente, né? Outras, pelo amor de Deus, né? Todo mundo concorda que é horrível. Caralho, viado, cadê o bagulho, mano? Tô todo perdido aqui. Faz tanto tempo que eu não faço mais isso daqui, que eu já não quero nem fazer mais. Quase lá. Ó, o bagulho vai sumir, quer ver? Parei. Em cima. É programado pra encher teu saco. Olha lá. Tô falando pra tu que tá foda. agora sim, né? Aquele padrão. Vamos ali obter o poder com o Barrett.
Something's happening. Here we go. Take a break. Let's chat.
Hello, universe. This is Barrett, returning your call.
What in the... Who in the... Whoa. Hello, handsome. You've got to be joking. Nope. Okay. Skipping the initial shock of it all. Agreed. Not worth it. Forming a hypothesis. That doesn't make sense. Cloning is a complicated procedure involving a lot of complex science. This was... a whole lot weirder. That's one way to put it. You know, my captain asked the same thing. Different captain, though, so you aren't an exact facsimile. From my readings, you don't have your appendix, and you're a quarter of a centimeter taller than me. Minor differences, but fascinating. I wonder what else is different. Me. Accurate. I'm just, passing through. Molecular binary schism? Temporal twinning? Group hallucination? Don't forget the fluctuations in the energy patterns, which align almost deterministically. Harmonized vibrations, distorting some mechanical barrier between neighboring universes? Impossible to know with such a minute subset of readings. We need more data. Obviously. I'll be Barrett Prime. Amundsen is fine. Usually the barrier between us is too thick to communicate much anyway. Amundsen? Now I know you're not me. Hey, one of us has to keep it classy. Why stop at 2? It won't work. The energy required increases exponentially per anomaly. I'm already exhausted. In a way that's hard to describe. Not physically or mentally, but something else. Sorry, friend. You'll feel right as rain when I dissipate. Whoa there. Sustaining this connection requires a lot of concentration. Is this permanent? You will eventually monitor the energy fluctuations and agree. But no, this is unusual. I could study this forever. Irvin told me to just enjoy it and collect data on the side for later. And I'm glad I did. Irvin? He's with you. He's... okay? By the tone of your voice, I'm gathering some things in our lives might be a bit different. Is he happy? Yes, he is. Our daughter pilots the ship after Vasco was destroyed. But otherwise, we've survived the war well. Going on 20 years now. But we're starting to turn the tide. Imagine all of the variations. It's endless. Amazing. Sounds like you don't have a daughter here, I take it. No, we talked about it, but no. We named her after Aja, my mentor. She died in the crossfire between the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective decades ago. For me, Irvin died instead of Aja in that crossfire. She's best friends with Cora. And she's smart as hell. Of course she is. Oh, man. I only hope the new one we're building is just as salty as the last one. My husband, he passed 20 years ago. It's been so long. The horror of the infinite is the inclusion of the unimaginable. I promise. He's happy. We're happy. I have so many questions. I wonder how many paths I've taken. We've taken. How many variations. How many ended with heartache and how many with joy. I think about that all the time. Wait. What's that noise? Starborn ship. No idea. This isn't how the power works for me. I've never had a conversation with myself before. You pretty much know everything I do now anyway. More than I ever hoped for. What happens for any of us? I don't think it works that way, though. Maybe I'm just a construct or a memory. I don't know. But I don't feel pain. Good to know. We can handle this. On it.
Beleza, né? E aí aquela partezinha onde a gente precisa ali se defender de um estelar, né? Ah lá, ó. Precisamos derrotar o inimigo. Faz parte da missão. Não é difícil não. Já era. E é isso aí. Agora é só conversar com o Barrett de novo.
Something happened. I can't hold on to you. I'm struggling. Being pulled through the barrier. This is probably it, friends. Son, cherish every moment with them.
I already do, my friend. I promise.
So look, for the record, I am the same Barrett that came here with you. For sure. I think. Isn't it? I mean, hey, at least only one other Barrett appeared. Imagine if an army of, me showed up. Kinda. I mean, here's the thing. It's pretty exhausting in a way that's hard to describe. A second one of me seems... well, frankly, it seems like it would kill me. But yes, I tried. Briefly. Then I stopped when I realized how impossible it would be. Makes me tired just thinking about it. Besides, it is a bit exhausting to sustain just one extra me. Anyway, it's a relief, you know. I have this ability, this power, and I'm still just me. Just regular Barrett. And I already feel like it's subsiding. I no longer feel like I'm in a huge crowd. Yes, though it takes a lot of concentration. If I do it a lot, I bet I'd give myself a headache. From myself. I'm my own migraine. I thought so too. Other me, other Barrett, seemed like he was able to handle himself well in that fight. Anyway, we'll see. If the other me gets in the way, I can just release him or stop using the power entirely. For now, I just need to use this power a bit and digest what all has happened. Sure, but give me some time. I want to use it a bit more. See what its limits are. I just need some time with it. That's pretty exhausting, really. so I might only do it when I feel like we could use backup. For now, anyway.
Beleza, com isso a gente conseguiu completar a missão, e aí a gente precisa só ir explorando, continuando liberando as interações dele ali, para prosseguir com a sua história e o envolvimento do personagem, beleza?
I just wanted to say thanks for the daring rescue back there. I had plans for Matsura, of course, but I appreciate the backup. I could, but it doesn't feel right. You're part of the family now, and we take care of each other. You know, that Crimson Fleet pirate who held me captive for a bit a while ago. I just appreciated how you rescued me, that's all. I would have given them an exhaustive series of lectures on aneutronic fusion until they were either delirious or they became my new students, obviously. It's good to be part of a team, isn't it? To be part of something so much bigger than any one of us. So many things can go wrong out there. Working with people you can trust is important. That's why I've been in Constellation so long. It's good to have people who will help out when you're in a jam. Exactly as often as I need to. Jams are just sticky successes, right? At first it seems annoying, but it eventually washes off. Just wait till we get matching shirts and start having official cookie days. Sounds amazing, right? Reminds me of a time when I got stranded on a ship carrying tons of frozen foods when its engine and gravity system died in the middle of nowhere. The captain allowed everybody to eat only the cookies since the meats were so expensive. But with no gravity, the cookies baked into weird little spheres. So naturally, we floated around eating cookie globs for days. I'd say we gained quite a lot of weight. But as we were in space, we factually did not. They're one of humanity's greatest achievements. Modern medicine, space travel, and cookies. Constellation is quite pro-cookie. Because, you see, we value human accomplishments. Speaking of which, sometimes it feels like you've always been a part of Constellation. I can't explain why. A long time. We should talk about it someday. I'd need to get some tea going for that chat, though. Well, I try to be welcoming to everybody who joins. Oh. Exactly how enjoyable? Wait, no, don't tell me. Not right now anyway. Just let me keep going. You know, being a member of Constellation has given me a lot of opportunities, and a fair bit of stress, I'll admit. It's hard to imagine just who I'd be had I never joined up. I would have never done so many things, met so many people. It's mind-boggling how different I would be. And I never would have met Irvin. Or lost him, I suppose. Irvin Madani was my husband. He was also a brilliant biologist who joined Constellation a couple of years before me. Yeah, he's gone now. I remember his bright smiles when I returned from my trips. Wow, more brilliant than any star. That's kind of you to ask. People used to say that we were polar opposites. He was quiet and shy, they said. But that wasn't true. He was just that way around everyone else. The war happened. He was caught in the crossfire between the UC and the Free Star Collective. It was right after he finished a job on Gagarin. Some terrible job. I don't remember. It's not you, Captain. It's just been on my mind. I can't say why. Irvin's been gone for over 20 years. Strange how memories can pop up when you least expect it. Well, I'm enjoying my time adventuring with you, and it reminds me of Irvin in a way. We had so many adventures together, and then it suddenly stopped. Maybe part of my mind is trying to remind me of that. All right, let's see. He was a biologist, specialized in botany. He loved plants. For years, he carried one with us on trips like it was our pet. He even named it. Haven't thought about that in a while. Well, maybe I'll take you up on that offer later on, Captain. I need some time to think about things. On that note, I think I'd do well to distract myself with a little adventure for a bit. I've been thinking a lot about my early days in Constellation lately. Got me pretty nostalgic, and I started digging in some old things. Just sort of reminiscing. I found some of Irvin's last messages to me and thought I'd listen to them again to hear his voice. Oh, sorry, I got ahead of myself there. Remember a bit ago we were talking about Constellation? I've just been thinking about it since. And Irvin, my husband, used to be in Constellation way back when. So my mind jumped to thinking about him. So I was listening to these old messages to hear his voice. No, I apparently read at least a few of these. I just don't remember. It was a difficult time. It was surreal, honestly. So most of the messages were everyday things. Lots of excitedly written news about biodiversity and plant life. But one thing stood out. In one of his messages, he mentioned this job that he took at a mine shortly before he died. He said something terrible was happening there, but the message was garbled after that. Kind of. I mean, it depends, right? If it's something that's still happening today, then I care. True, but this was different. I recognized this pattern from the war. A portion of the message was encrypted. Well, Vasco helped me decipher it. Turns out the message was from Irvin, and he was begging me to help him. The message was short, but his voice was pained. He was so upset. No, he was frustrated and angry. He said they were going to destroy his name. He said they were going to destroy his life if he didn't leave the planet now. Then he asked me to help clear his name. Said they had a case against him. Oh, he sounded so upset. I know this is probably long done, but I heard his voice. I can't just not look into it. So in this message, Irvin said he was being framed. He said they'll do it again. He asked if Constellation could send more help. No, I just thought it was garbled. I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know. Not exactly sure, but he mentioned a court case. So I think there's a paper trail. His former employers had some job he took before he died. I think it was a mining company. It is, but I was thinking about it and, well, it's still wrong, right? So I figured, hey, I can do some sort of a remote investigation here. See what I can find out. There's gotta be a paper trail, right? Now, I happen to have a trustworthy contact who knows a bit about law and owes me a favor. I'd need to pay in advance in case there are any access fees or bribes. He knows how to navigate archived and redacted legal documents, so he'll look for anything to do with Irvin on Gagarin. If those documents are protected, he might have to pay to access them. Might need to grease some palms, too. That works. I'll tell them to go ahead with the investigation. You know, hearing Irvin's voice again made me want to help him, even though I know I can't. Does that make any sense? No, I know I can't. I just don't want whoever hurt him to get away with it, if that's what happened. Huh. Can't say I've had that effect on anyone before. Hopefully poking around in old records doesn't catch the attention of Hephaestus. Well, anyway, I'll let you know if my contact finds anything.
Hey, so I'm really enjoying our time together. Thought you should know. It's been a long time since I worked with someone so closely. I didn't realize how much I missed it. And you haven't stopped me from looking into this stuff with Irvin either. So, thank you. Well, there's a school of thought that you shouldn't go chasing ghosts. And they're probably right. Ghosts are spooky. But maybe this isn't that kind of chase. And Irvin's case is far from dead. Thank you. It means a lot to know someone that you, well, care about feels the same. On that note, I do have some news about Irvin's case. So, I wanted to let you know that I heard back from my contact, and I think you'll want to hear this. They sent me a copy of some public records. It's interesting. There was a claim filed against Irvin accusing him of damaging their investments. Looks like Irvin didn't even enter a plea. Some of Irvin's paychecks were seized, as well as any assets that weren't under joint ownership. The Hephaestus Mining Corporation, and they also won the case. He wasn't even on the planet for the duration of the trial. I think they scared him off. Anyway, this mining corporation, Hephaestus, sued Irvin, claiming he irreparably damaged their mine. They said he killed the apex predators in the area around the mine, which led to herd creatures overeating the grasses. That caused the soils to release too many gases too fast, which cost Hephaestus a ton of money. They claim the creature he killed was a critical hive species that caused a cascade effect when they were killed off. Irvin killed the equivalent of a queen bee, and the whole hive collapsed, basically. It looks like they considered him a no-show and ruled against him. So anyway, according to the court documents, there was a witness for the defense, who was a no-show too. Then Hephaestus won by default. They tried to take his apartment, but because it's in my name too, they couldn't. Yes, they plan to stay in the same system for a while. They withdrew their testimony the morning of the trial. Said they had a sincere change of heart. I didn't know he bought it. Must have been a better deal than renting for the time he was there. That doesn't mean we can't do anything about it. And if nothing else, I just want to know more about what happened to Irvin. So here's what I was thinking. I can persuade my contact to keep digging a little bit more. I don't want to press our luck, so I'll just ask them to follow up on one thing. Should I tell them to investigate the company more, or look into the witness instead? I just want to know why they picked Irvin. Why did they set him up? I wonder what his real reason was for retracting his testimony. Did he report anything to security? For that much money? They'll do it. You know, this investigation is time-consuming, but it's also pretty cathartic. And who knows? Maybe if we solve this case, it'll mean a better future for Gagarin. But that's thinking too far ahead. Anyway, Captain, thanks for checking in with me. You know, I needed this. Exploring the galaxy with you by day, investigating the mysterious legal woes of my long-dead spouse by night. Hey, I'm not complaining. Honestly, these have been some of the best days of my life in a long time. I mean that. You know, I couldn't agree more. I was just remembering how I'd pour my heart out to Vasco so many times. I told him all about Irvin. He showed me a chart of how sad I should expect to feel. Sure, folks from the Lodge, folks from my past. I've got friends when and where I need them. But traveling with you has been different. We're more of a team. It feels stronger. Why not? Trust me, I've talked to way less sentient humans before. Vasco's just fine for most conversations. He was really hoping the visual presentation would help. It did not. Oh, we got to point B many times just fine. Top-notch co-pilot. Would recommend him to anybody. Anyway, I'm glad you're here right now because we have things to discuss about Irvin's case. I heard back from my contact. They looked into Hephaestus Mining Corporation. Looks like they paid off the judge. And that's not all. My contact really came through for us. Turns out the witness was threatened until he withdrew his testimony. And thanks to our contact, we now have the receipts. No, my contact does for now. I trust them. We worked together a long time ago. And it depends on what I want to do with all the proof. If anything. Bank transactions. A precise amount was transferred to the judge only the day before the ruling. My contact has an audio log with the identity of the speaker verified, time-stamped, everything. I tend to agree. It's interesting, but not enough to take it to a lawyer yet. So I know a cyber runner who has accessed corporate archives before. They can dig into the classified archives before we go to a lawyer. We can pay extra for them to use less legal methods to obtain information, but that adds risk. I don't know. I guess that's a good question for a lawyer. I appreciate that, Captain, but I'll take care of any fines or bribes that come up from this. You have always been so supportive of me during this process. Let me take care of this part. Depending on what they find out, it might be time to talk to a lawyer. I'll see if I can find one. Whew. Taking on Hephaestus isn't going to be easy. And I say this as someone with actual superpowers. Why couldn't I have gotten something more useful? Like the art of cross-examination. Might have come in handy at the trial. Well, my long-lost cousin had this farmstead that was taken over by pirates. I'm just kidding, but no, probably not. Massages are nice for relieving stress, sure, but have you ever jumped around in an atmosphere full of human-sized, colorful bubbles and ultra-low gravity? It's bouncy chaos. Wait. Oh, you meant like you and me. Oh, right. Gotcha. I knew that. Sure, massages would be perfect. My, oh my. Anyway, let's go adventure while we wait on the cyber runner to get back to us. Hey, when you're not busy, let's chat. Yes? Of course. Ask away. It feels so bizarre to refer to it that way. But please, continue with your questions. Not gonna lie, it's weird. I had hoped for the ability to fly or something, you know. But truth be told, I'm flattered. I mean, it is some sort of cosmic compliment, right? Well, I'm part of the cool kids club now, right? But honestly, I don't really think it will change me that much. I'm still me. I thought it would change me. I thought, what if I can fly or see through walls or whatever? Would I be a different person? And if so, would I still care about the things I used to care about? It took a while for me to really figure out those feelings. They were buried deep below my drive to explore and my work with Constellation. Hey, not funny. It could happen. Power corrupts, you know. Maybe I'll become some sort of cosmic, mini-eyed monster intent on devouring humanity. Then what? Anyway, evil is a silly concept, and I'm pretty sure you'd know what to do in that case anyway. I think. Of course. What else do you want to talk about? It's a difficult topic. For years I pretended like I was over it. But I'm not. I can't guarantee I can answer everything, but I want to try. Well, he probably would be mad that I let his death derail my life. That I never moved on. Yes, he was one of the first people I met when I moved into the lodge. His room used to be full of plants. The humidity was hard to get used to. Sometimes I think that man loved his plants more than he loved me. I'm kidding. Or am I? I am kidding, though. Thanks for listening. Did you have any other personal questions, or was that it? You know, I think we're going to need to talk to a lawyer soon. The trick is finding somebody who will take such an old case. You know, traveling with you has been more than just good old-fashioned fun. It's been, well, therapeutic. I know. It didn't seem like it, right? Well, I was hiding it from everyone, including myself. I can see now how much it was affecting me. I know now that clearing Irvin's name would set me free from the grief. Well, I buried my pain about Irvin for so long that I needed a nudge and a different perspective. Well, the fact is, You've had my back countless times already, and without you, I'd be exploring some random world alone, not realizing how much that bothered me. Yeah, of course. Vasco is a fantastic co-pilot. He doesn't sleep, he reacts quickly. He's a fascinating friend. So am I. I mean, I will keep that in mind. Which brings me back to that plan I mentioned earlier. I think I know how to move forward now. But I'm going to need your help. My contact sent a gift. Nope. They were confident about not being detected, but not like too confident. Yep, my friend from Neon, who has helped me out more times than I deserve. Seems real to me. So they found an insurance settlement. Irvin's employers got paid as compensation for sabotage. Now, they claimed they had to ditch the whole mine and all the equipment inside and construct a new mine with new equipment. They were reimbursed for all of it. It seems that the mining company got a huge payout after they won the case against Irvin. We have the settlement paperwork from their insurance. Tons of money. Oh, also the cyber runner had to move on to other work, but sent me a passcode to some computer system. I'm not sure what it goes to yet. We can just hold on to it until we figure it out. But anyway, we have enough to move forward. The missing piece here is proving that Irvin was framed. So I discovered that Irvin's original lawyer still practices law, and she'll look over everything we found. Irvin's case was her first case, she said. She always hated how it ended. And she's now got 2 decades of experience behind her for a rematch, too. Yes, I believe so. Every case she's worked on has been in the interest of regular, everyday people. She doesn't seem to be in this for the money. I mean, heck, she said she wouldn't even charge us. For the initial consultation, anyway. Oh, detective. I like the sound of that. If I'm the detective, does that make you my trustworthy and sensible partner with a heart of gold? I swear it was a cliche in old detective novels. You have the hard-boiled detective who's seen it all, and the optimistic assistant who wants to save the world. Well, I can work with that. Detective Barrett at your service. Anyway, we should take everything to the lawyer and see what she says. Maybe she reviews it and decides we have no case, or we need more evidence. I don't know. If we don't have a case, I can probably let it go. But I have to try. Oh, yep. I've got a key card for it. But I don't know what condition it's in. It's been 20 years, but I got the ventilation and power turned on, so I think it's safe. Yes, I've already arranged for my contact to drop off the evidence at our office. Fantastic. I knew I could count on you. You're as reliable as an atomic clock. I've sent a list of everything we found so far to the lawyer on Gagarin. You know, I actually feel optimistic about this. Lead the way, detective.
E depois ali de uma certa quantidade de interações também, né, e progresso de amizade, a gente acaba liberando uma missão que envolve o passado ali do Barrett. Então, vamos lá.
I have something.
Gagarin has always been a bit of a pit in my stomach. I know it wasn't related to Irvin's death, but it happened right before he died, so the events were both emotionally linked to me. I was just thinking that this is about what Irvin saw all those years ago when he arrived. He probably stood here thinking that he was going to make things better. He had a good heart. We need to reopen the case. See if there's anything that was overlooked the first time. We've done some legwork remotely, but we need to do some good old-fashioned investigating now. Hopefully it will be enough to clear Irvin's name. Oh, you remind me of him sometimes, wanting to make things right. And when you said it out loud, you know, I actually believe we can do it. I just hope our lawyer is as confident. Yes, but listen. Nobody will stand up against the mining corporations around here. They're scared. She didn't want to lose the case, but she didn't have a lot to go on. Thanks to us, now she does. I sent that to our lawyer already. I asked her to confidentially review what we found. Ellie Yankton. She worked on Irvin's previous case. Ellie is one of the few lawyers on this planet who's willing to take on the mining corporations in court. Right. She said she would meet us at our office when we arrive. Hopefully she can tell us what we need to do in order to clear Irvin's name. Let's stick together, though. Gagarin isn't a huge town, but it's not the kind of town that I want to get lost in.
Well, well, well. Barrett, you're actually here. Astounding.
Ellie! Ellie, come on. I promised we'd stop by, didn't I?
People make promises all the time, Barrett. And most folks try to avoid Gagarin, not visit it. Anyway, I'm glad you made it out here. We have work to do, don't we? Not exactly, but similar cases. A corporation commits a crime and needs a scapegoat, so they select someone powerless to target.
The quintessential Gagarin tale.
Indeed. Yes. It was my first case as a bright-eyed, optimistic lawyer.
Well, starting your career with a defeat is rough, Ellie.
It was. But in a way, it made me more determined. It's not a resort. It's a working town run by mining corporations. You don't come here unless you need to, and you don't stay unless you have to.
Or unless you're a bright-eyed, optimistic lawyer who genuinely wants to make things better for others. Right, Ellie?
You're kind, Barrett. Yes, I suppose there's that type of person as well. Down to business. Perfect. What do you already know?
So we already know that Irvin worked for Hephaestus Mining Company years ago, and they blamed him for catastrophic economic and ecological issues here on Gagarin.
Yes. He lost his case because he didn't defend himself, and we had almost no evidence without him. He was publicly blamed for the economic woes, and his accounts were seized in compensation.
His account on Gagarin specifically. It was just the amount he was paid years ago for the job.
Right. They would have taken his assets and other settlements, but by law, his death prevented it.
I recall receiving a message asking him to appear in court a day after his funeral.
An unfortunate reality of interplanetary legal communiques, I'm afraid. Well, we can bring the case to a judge here if we have new evidence or a witness.
What about the evidence we found so far?
Yes, well, about that. It's just not enough. Best case scenario, we clear his name and his assets are returned, plus additional compensation. Not on its own, no. It's circumstantial. Helpful to support our claim, but not enough. In order for me to go before a judge, I'd like to have some solid evidence pertaining to motive. The courts won't entertain a challenge to its ruling unless we're sure that something major was missed in the original trial.
What was the motive from the original trial?
We had no solid motive after our witness withdrew his testimony. Yeah, we need something major. Documentation, recordings, a witness, something.
It's been so long. How could we find anything like that?
I've thought about this a lot since the original case. The mine that Irvin worked at was shuttered in 2309. They probably still have documents relating to whatever happened there with him. Not necessarily. To Hephaestus, it might be cheaper to run away and let the dust bury it all.
Not really. All I know is that it's a Hephaestus mine from 20 years ago, somewhere on Gagarin.
I don't have a couple decades to wait for you to search them all, so we'll need to narrow it down. That's where you come in. I don't know which mine he worked at when the incident took place. In theory, you could find that information on a Foundry terminal, if you can access it. You'll need a passcode. That's the hard part. Besides the Foundry records, there also might be something in Irvin's apartment. If he knew he was being framed, he might have held on to some documents there.
You know, now that you mention it, I know a cozy place nearby where we could relax and maybe find some evidence helpful for the case.
You both realize I'm still here, right?
Irvin had an old apartment nearby. I never sold it. We could search it and see if he left anything there from the job.
Why didn't you lead with that, Barrett?
Hey, at least I didn't forget entirely. Dear Diary, today we created an ecological disaster and then blamed it on an off-worlder. Love Hephaestus.
Funny. But you'd be surprised how often people write down things that get them into serious trouble.
Oh, do tell.
For comparison, I just finished a case against another company that was charged with illegally dumping waste near the town's water supply. Their permits specified a site that would have cost twice as much fuel, so they sent a memo to the driver to dump it at the first available location just outside of town.
They actually wrote that down. Classic. Do you think your Argos extractor's credentials could work? That would be handy.
Barrett, you brought someone with relevant work experience? I admire that.
I'm nothing if not resourceful, Ellie.
If that doesn't work, then maybe talk shop with another worker. See if they can help.
We just need to find the mine where Irvin worked 20-some years ago. How hard could that be?
Let me level with you both. It might not be possible to find enough evidence, but we may as well try, right? At least we'll know one way or another. If you'll excuse me, I have to get some court documents ready for this case.
I should still have a key to Irvin's apartment. I hope it's worth our time, but I can't be sure. The Foundry District isn't too far from here.
Lizzie's, she and I are going to have problems.
Use this key. After you, Ken. Now I get why he wanted me to look after his plants. No windows, insufficient power for proper lamps. Oh, he must have been miserable. No wonder he wrote so much. Wait a second. What about this safe? I bet it's locked by a terminal.
Beleza, nessa parte da missão a gente vai dar uma vasculhada ali no apartamento, então eu vou dar uma olhadinha com calma em tudo aqui pra gente ir vendo, né, o que vamos encontrar, beleza? Não vou nem perder tempo com essa caixa de armazenamento aí, porque a missão ela já tem as suas próprias marcações ali de pontos que precisamos investigar, beleza? O resto praticamente é lucro.
Find anything helpful to the case, Captain?
Olhar em cima das coisas direitinho ali, ver se tem algo.
Well, I'll be. If you ever doubted Irvin's genius, look at all this. Still chugging along 20 years later.
Temos uma planta ali também para pegar.
Hold on. Is that what I think it is?
E agora a gente tem este computador aqui também para interagir, né? É onde vai estar as provas ali, tudo direitinho. Então eu vou deixar um tempinho na tela aí para vocês, né? E lendo com calma é só pausar o vídeo.
Aha. Will you look at that? If we go to town hall, I bet we can get a copy of that hunting license. No idea what mine H363 is, but we could search for it at the Foundry database. All right, we've got some solid leads, it looks like. The employment contract and the hunting license at Town Hall. And as the lawyer, she's probably right. The burden of proof is sky high on this one. It's likely already in orbit. It was a bit strange going through Irvin's old things, though. I was hoping for some old pictures, but nothing. What's that you have there? A plant? No, but I did find a few slates that might give us a clue. As well as a reminder to finish a physics paper that I never did. Yes, and it was always a remarkable species with an even more remarkable story. I wonder if the same is true for this guy. Witchcraft, probably. But if you want a more scientific explanation, I have a couple of theories. It could go through states of hibernation, or draw moisture from the air the way epiphytic plants do. There's also that habitat dish Irvin set up for it, which gave it light and nutrients. Still, I'm not ruling out witchcraft. I'm not sure. It might not even be a plant. It might technically be a fungus. But there's probably a reason why Irvin tried his best to keep it alive. When we get back home, I'll go through some of his research notes. It might tell us something more about this plant. Hopefully it's not poisonous. No, maybe not. But it helps me. Irvin was the last person to handle this plant. It mattered to him. No matter how the case goes, this warms my heart. I didn't expect to find it, but I love that I did. In any event, I'll go through Irvin's notes in more detail later. There's probably a flowchart somewhere with this little guy's name on it. Oh, on that note, we should give it a name. I'm thinking something simple, yet refined. What do you think of Harvey? Then it's unanimous. Okay, the three of us should get back to it. You, me, and Harvey have a case to solve. Access computer is still working. You ever read about the early history of spaceflight? So political. So familiar sometimes.
Beleza, temos mais um computador aqui para dar uma olhada também, né? Então, aquele famoso padrão, vou deixar as informações na tela aí, quem quiser dar uma lida com calma, só ir pausando o vídeo.
So, the hunting license was sponsored by Hephaestus after all. Ellie will be very interested to see this.
You lost her waiting for somebody? Can't believe my break is almost over already. Ah, you just moved here thinking it would be different, right? That's how they got me too. Shh, don't say her name around here. If anyone heard that, I'm fired for good. That used to be how it is, but some people grew up here. I don't know if that's a good thing. Nobody works in the mines here thinking we'll get rich, friend.
Well, it's got some amenities and protections, but not as much enforcement. A good balance for some.
It's just the best option for a lot of us right now. Friend, I don't get paid to chit-chat about work. Look, I'm on my break here. Bother somebody else.
Not looking to disrupt your personal time. We're new here.
New here, huh? Well, you can access any paychecks at the computer once per pay cycle. Don't forget your passcode. You can also get the coordinates to your assigned mine there. Easy. Welcome to the team. We drink at Liz's. That information is confidential. That's what I'm hoping. You know what? I may be starting to like you. I'm trying to be reasonable here. I tried to be. I'm not an unreasonable person, you know. So listen, you can use my employee passcode to access that foundry terminal over there. I'll just say I lost it somewhere.
Impressive.
Next time I'm going to take a nap on top of a building. Nobody ever looks up there.
Coordinates look valid to me. Imagine Irvin thinking the same thing all those years ago. Just a job, right? Well, at least we know where to keep looking, right? This is what we do. We're explorers, adventurers. But yeah, other than that, it's my fight. I don't want to get anyone else involved. Essentially, any documentation that screams, Irvin isn't guilty, we made it up. I guess we'll see what state the mine is in. It's possible they collapsed it before they left. We just won't know until we get there. If that's the case, we'll just have to figure something out.
Beleza, e agora a gente tem uma marcação ali no mapa, né? Pra fazer a investigação no planeta ali de Gagarin.
Careful. This place was shuttered 20 years ago. But it might have new tenants now.
E bora lá, né? Porque agora já vai demorar um pouco mais, porque é algo de exploração. Então possivelmente iremos enfrentar inimigos também aqui no meio do caminho e só seguir em frente. Ó, já temos uns ali de níveis mais elevados, que são um pouquinho chatinho, né? Mas o nosso foco ali é derrotar todo mundo. Se tiver uma quantidade grande dessas daqui, pode dar um pouquinho de trabalho. Ela enroscou ali? Não subiu, né? Se não subiu, quer dizer que enroscou.
Your dreams have just come true. Again.
Ué, ela não tava aqui não? Caralho, ela foi pro outro lado, mano. Pera aí, carregar aqui. cadê ela? Já deu pra ver que, pelo menos em relação aos inimigos aqui, já vão ser um pouquinho fortinhos ali, né? Bem resistente, nível mais alto. Uma ou outra ali a gente encontra com nível mais baixo, mas ainda assim é problemático, né? E o bagulho, se deixar, vem pra cima com tudo, né? E também não é toda hora que a gente encontra esse tipo de inimigo aqui, né? Que é essa aranha aí estranhona. Se eu não tô enganado, pelo menos dela, eu acho que eu encontrei dentro de uma nave lá, em uma missãozinha que a gente tava fazendo como um inimigo final lá. Se eu não tô enganado. Eu lembro de alguma coisa assim que esse inimigo apareceu. Mas eu não lembro de ter encontrado ele em exploração de mapa aberto e essas coisas.
Well, they don't need it now.
Bom, é aquele padrão, né, mano? É uma área que faz parte da missão e a gente nunca explorou isso daqui, tá? Porque é a missão do Barrett, né, mano? Só libera a área ali se você alcançar um determinado nível e libera ela também com ele. Então meio que não tem muito o que fazer, né? Pra liberar aqui, você precisa avançar na missão dele. Aí eu vou olhar tudo com bastante calma ali, tranquilidade, porque possivelmente em alguma localização vai ter uma revista que eu não peguei. Porque sempre tem, né? Nesse tipo de missão aqui, que é considerado meio que um pouco principal, porque tem relação com os personagens ali da história do game. E como também é uma área única, já deu pra entender, né? Sempre vai ter alguma coisinha lá. Foi dando uma olhada com calma, né? Porque já sabe como é que é a situação aqui, né? Deve ter mais inimigo ainda. Ah lá, ó. Fora que ainda é de quebra. Depois eu vou ter que dar um jeito ali em uma das conquistas aqui do game, tá? Porque eu já estou no nível 100 e depois eu ainda evoluí pro nível 101 e acabei não recebendo a porcaria da conquista lá na Steam, né? Que é do nível 100. Então depois, possivelmente, eu terei que utilizar um comando ali, tá ligado? Pra setar pelo menos o nível do personagem pra baixo e upar ele de novo. Porque alguma bosta aconteceu que essa conquista aí, ela cagou, né? Mesmo eu mostrando aqui pra vocês, recebendo as conquistas ali de história, de missão, de facção e por aí vai. Aí sempre tem que acontecer alguma merda em algum momento, né? E bugar alguma coisa. Eu tava livre até agora desses bugs mais de quebrar coisas assim do game. Porém, acabou quebrando uma conquista agora pra mim. E aí depois, mais pra frente, eu dou um jeito nisso daí de resolver, né? E aí eu mostro como resolver isso daí também, né? Porque nem ferrando que eu vou pegar ali e começar uma gameplay de novo, tá ligado? E, aproveitar e evoluir o personagem pro 100. Nem lascando. No Malemar, eu posso aproveitar, iniciar uma gameplay e setar o nível do personagem pro 100 pra ver se libera a conquista. Caso contrário, nem ferrando, mano. Não faço isso daqui, o upgrade de novo, não. Já que, vamos dizer assim, o problema não é nosso, né? É o jogo que deu algum tipo de bug e não entregou a conquista pra nós, né? Já sabendo que, em relação a Starfield, muita coisa buga até hoje, né, mano? Eu não tive tantos problemas, mas muitas pessoas ali tiveram, problema pra dar com um pau aqui nesse jogo. Então, filhão, eu já esperava que uma hora ou outra algo desse tipo iria acontecer comigo. Mas é aquele esquema. depois ali eu resolvo essa parte, né? Primeiro vamos completar a missão do Barrett ali direitinho. Aí na hora que eu for voltar ali, tá ligado? Pra explorar os sistemas, eu vejo o que eu vou fazer pra receber essa conquista. Senão eu deixo ela lá pro final do game, na hora que eu tiver completando as conquistas lá dos entrepostos, né? Que eu ainda vou ter que fazer. Eu pego e faço essa parte da conquista aí.
This looks promising. This looks like administration. Company records. Bingo.
Ainda bem que a gente pegou a chave lá atrás, né? Muito bom. Bora dar uma olhadinha nas informações aqui deste computador. Um dos objetivos é este computador em específico, né? Tem alguma coisa ali de administrador, né? Então eu vou aproveitar e passar através da tranca ali também, né? De quebra para liberar mais coisas. Mas já deu pra reparar que deu foi merda, né? Porque temos esses inimigos aí até na parte de cima. Imagina na hora que nós descer. Interessante. A gente destrava ali uns terminais. Será que é lá da parte de baixo, mano? Pode ser, hein?
All right. Now let's go find Irvin and Helgi's lab stations.
Vamos aproveitar tudo, porque querendo ou não, aqui é uma mina, né, velho? Então, área embaixo da terra, obviamente que vai ter ali na exploração. Vamos subir.
May as well, right?
E é isso aí mesmo, o elevador tá ali, tá aqui em cima. Olha lá, ó. Pra gente descer. Aqui é o telhado lá, né? A gente tava na parte de baixo ali, tranquilo. Então vamos dar uma última olhadinha aqui e vamos descer pelo elevador. Pra continuar a missão. Beleza, né? E bora lá começar a exploração da área aqui também. Vamos dar uma olhadinha em tudo ali com calma. Ver aí os objetivos e também, né? Se vamos ter mais inimigos, que com certeza vai ter, né, velho? E é os bichos resistentes pra caramba. Opa, eu já vi umas perninhas passando ali embaixo, hein? Dá uma olhada nos armários, né? Às vezes a gente encontra aí coisas boas. Digihack ali é sempre bom pegar a maior quantidade possível, porque você sempre vai estar utilizando. Bom, temos uns arquivos aqui, aquele famoso padrão, tá? Se você quiser dar uma lida com calma, só ir pausando o vídeo aí. Eu vou tentar sempre ir mostrando todas as informações possíveis, já que isso daqui faz parte de uma área única que tem relação com a missão, né? Então, é interessante ir mostrando tudo aí.
It was the destruction of the bacterial colonies, not the apex predators. So, they ruined the ecosystem here. And it had nothing to do with Urban. This is it. This is what Ellie needs to see.
Resumo da história, né, mano? Deu uma merda ferrada. Aí, ó, encontramos também, ó, a revista que eu falei pra vocês, né? Que iria ter, óbvio. É uma área única relacionada a uma missão. E a gente só libera essa área aqui se você estiver completando a missão. Então, padrão, né? Tem mais inimigos ali, então tudo isso aí já está sendo mostrado no mapa. Eu tô de boa, não reclamo muito não. Diário da supervisão, então tá aí pra vocês também, mais informações. Temos um computador aqui. Temos alguns registros também, beleza. E bora continuar. Todas as munições aí, é interessante você sempre ir levando tudo, porque em algum momento irá utilizar. E é algo que não tem peso também, né? Isso daí pra gente é sempre bom. Porque se tivesse peso, nós tá fudido agora. Pelo quanto de munição que eu tenho de algumas armas ali que eu não utilizei ainda. Vixe, tava na bosta.
Always a pleasure watching you.
Passamos pela tranca ali, de boa. Vamos dar uma olhadinha, ver o que temos aqui. Nada de muito interessante também. E bora seguir, né? Opa! Já de cara assim. Cara, eita porra, essa aqui foi no susto, hein? Tá louco, um bagulho veio rápido, velho. Vou ir na moralzinha, mano, porque vai que, né, velho? Vai ter umas emboscadas aí desses bichos, não sei direito. É bom ir na paz.
I know it's not uncommon for them to leave all this equipment behind, but it seems rushed.
Foda é o barulhinho, ó. Não tem nada. Vai dar uns arrepios de vez em quando isso aí, mano. Os barulhinhos ali é foda. Ô! Desceu da onde essa bosta? E tem mais mostrando ali no mapa também, ó. Vamos, fia, se mexe só um pouquinho pra me ter uma visibilidade de umas partes tuas aí. Só preciso dessa visibilidade, mano. Sai daqui, carai.
You're welcome, everyone.
Ô. Beleza. Até o momento tranquilo. Tinha algum caminho aqui por baixo? Porque eu vi um ponto mais ou menos pra cá, né? Só ter certeza, porque senão é meio foda, né? Aí os bagulho vem pelas costas, aí lascou de vez. Essas porra deve dar um dano do cão.
Weird in here. Like seaweed and sulfur.
Chegamos no próximo setor, beleza? Ali tá o computador. Olha o bagulho se movendo lá no fundão. Ô, carai. Aí a bichinha manda logo uma pedrada, fi. Tô vendo você aí no fundo também, tá? Deixa eu carregar. Eita, tem outra lá também. Vou acertar daqui mesmo. Pelo menos a gente já elimina uma quantidade legal aí pra ajudar.
Weird noise. Your dreams have just come true. Again.
Pegou, hein? Pegou. Vamos na paz. Ó. Já veio dar uma de curiosa pra cá. Carai, pera aí. Ficar ligeiro aqui, porque se vir dos outros caminhos, mano, é bom tá esperto. Essas porra é nível alto assim. E aí já sabe, né? Se der uma porrada, o dano deve ser altinho. As pedradas dela já dói. Imagina se ela vir no fight físico mesmo, né? Oh, eu ouvi.
I know what we need. Yeah. More.
Essa aparentemente é o boss da área. Porque tá peste rainha, mano. Rainha não vai ter duas, né? Normalmente é uma só, filho. Essa possivelmente seja a mais forte que a gente encontraria aqui. Tem outras lá pra baixo ainda. Mas de boa. Vamos dar uma olhadinha aqui nesse computador. Caixa industrial é meio como se fosse ali já a recompensa final, né? Certo, é o computador do outro cara lá, mano. Que trampou com o antigo marido ali do Barrett. E é aquele esquema, não quer dizer que eu vou parar por aqui, tá? A gente já pode meter o pé. A missão já vai mandar você voltar. Mas ainda assim eu vou dar uma geralzinha na área pra entender, porque aí a gente só faz essa exploração aqui nesse vídeo mesmo e acabou.
Seems like hell.
Eu não volto mais aqui depois, entendeu? Pra caso eu tenha esquecido alguma coisinha.
We try to do the right thing here. I'm sure Ellie would want to see this. He's citing numerous ethics violations dating back to before Urban's time, and Hephaestus just ignored him.
É isso que foi o foda, né? Algo aconteceu, que aí o cara teve que vazar do bagulho lá do tribunal, né? Se não foi ameaçado por alguém também, é uma das opções, né? Agora, mais um indício disso porque o cara tentou fazer a coisa certa, né? Então é foda. Mas de boa. Tá lá no fundão. De bagulho macabro, hein, velho. Vai embora. Que aí na hora que eu zerar essa área aqui e ver que não tem mais nada, eu já vou ter que voltar o caminho inteiro e ir embora. Eu já corto lá pra doutora, né? Porque a gente já tem o objetivo de voltar pra ela, ó. Pode ver que não tem nenhuma outra marcação. O correto já era voltar, né? Mas eu tô aqui na moralzinha, olhando tudo, porque, né? A gente tem que sempre fazer tudo aí. Tá acertando não, caralho? Tem o que? Uma parede invisível ali? A pedrada dela, não dá pra brincar não. E aí aquele esquema, né? Ó, pode ver que eu acabei no meio da missão upando pro 101, né? E eu não recebi a conquista nem no 100 e nem no 101. Então já é a confirmação que a conquista lá bugou, né? Não tem mesmo o que eu fazer. Vou ter que dar um jeito depois na base do comando pegar essa conquista aí. Infelizmente, né? E tem mais inimigo por aí ainda, hein? Olha lá, ó. Em algum lugar tá outro ali. Ô, barulho foi esse? Isso aqui é contagioso, né? É, certeza. Imaginei. Em algum lugar tem mais alguma. Eu só vou dar uma geralzinha aqui. Que eu acho que a gente já... Eita porra, ouviu isso aí? Tem mais? Bom, aqui caminho fechado, né? Para ambos os lados. Creio eu, então, que a exploração acabou. Eu pensei que ia ter mais caminho pra cá, né? Por isso que eu continuei ali, porque eu tive a impressão na hora que eu olhei aqui pra baixo que ia ter mais alguns túneis, né? Pra fazer a exploração, mas de boa, pelo jeito é isso mesmo. Só vou confirmar um pouquinho aqui por cima. É isso aí, dava só a impressão mesmo que o corredor continuava. Bom, agora o correto pelo menos é voltar pra advogada. Oh, não tinha inimigo aqui não, hein? Sacanagem isso aí, hein?
You're welcome, everyone.
É, pelo jeito a gente vai ter que enfrentar inimigo antes de chegar lá na saída. Ai, 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 ai. Ei, pegou na cara agora? Aí, beleza. Imaginei que não seria tão fácil assim quanto tá aparecendo, não.
Wish granted.
Fala, cheguei aqui, matei todo mundo e vou embora. Tá bom, viu? Vai aparecer caminho bicho na volta também. Tem mais, ó.
Oh yes. I know how this ends.
Vamos. 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 Carai. Haja bala, viu, fio? Esse bagulho é resistente. Morreu. Agora acabou? Posso voltar pro elevador ou não? Tem mais. Ai, ai. Bom, agora acabou, né? Porque a gente voltou aqui pra entrada. Só subir lá pro elevador e voltar na advogada lá e entregar todas as provas que a gente conseguiu reunir aqui. Beleza. Então bora, né? Eita porra, não tinha visto esse corpo aqui não.
Worth selling or using? Hey,
Welcome back, detectives.
you might want this. Ellie, I sent you all the data from the mine already. As I'm sure you know.
Yes, I've been reviewing it. Sit down. Let's have a chat about it. Welcome back, you two. How was the trip to the mine?
You're gonna love this, Ellie.
Okay, someone better tell me. Come on.
We found the coordinates to Irvin's old work site and went there. Huge battle. Fire, explosions. Pew, 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 pew.
Barrett, please.
You should have seen the plants in there, too. Weird stuff. Anyway, you read over the documents we found there, right? What do you think?
What you both found in that mine is remarkable. These documents show that the chemicals released by the mining process contaminated the ecology even before Irvin was tasked with removing the predators. And they also show that Helgi informed Hephaestus of the issue, and it was repeatedly ignored. And with that, I think we've got ourselves a case, my friends.
Yes! That's what I wanted to hear, Ellie. Woo!
Yes, but it's still likely to lose. Because what we really need now is Helgi as our witness, and that is a problem. Helgi isn't an ideal witness at all. He was our star witness the first time, and he never showed up. Plus, he's got a reputation around town. After he quit, he went a bit weird.
I can handle a bit weird. I know the captain can, too.
Clearly. But the judge might feel differently. It might be worth finding some character witnesses, too, while you're looking for him. I'm glad you're taking it in stride. It's just, for a case with this much science, we need the man who wrote the claims to back them up. Maybe even explain it in layman's terms. We could, but I think we'd lose the case, bluntly. We can verify these documents are real, but Hephaestus can counter by attacking Helgi's character. They'll label him a disgruntled employee and then find a dozen independent scientists to confirm Irvin was at fault. But with Helgi in court, he can explain the science and help me challenge any countering theories during cross-examination. That's also a bit tricky. He's hard to find. Doesn't really stay in one place for long. You might ask Dr. Kayala. She checks up on folks who fall through the cracks sometimes. You'd have to convince her to tell you where he is. That might be hard.
Sounds like we're making a stop at the med clinic. We'll be back when we convince Helgi to be a witness.
Listen, if he refuses, then he refuses. Can't force him.
Yeah, we don't want to press him too hard. The last thing we need is him refuting what he wrote. This is going to take a light touch, but I think we can handle it.
Do you need medical assistance? Are you injured? Is there something I can help you two with?
Do you happen to know Dr. Helgi Hawkson? We're trying to get his help with something.
Sorry, who are you exactly?
We're detectives. Self-taught and unaffiliated. Freelance detectives. With the emphasis on the free part.
Wait, what? Detectives? Sorry, I don't think I know what you're talking about. I treat anyone who walks in my doors, if I'm able to. No, not really. I mean, there's Irvin the Slaughterer and Irvin the Scourge of Gagarin, but I doubt that's the same person, right? I'm sorry. I'm not a tour guide. You'll have to ask somebody else.
We're trying to help him. And Gagarin, actually.
Only every single time I see him. But listen, I don't have time to chat. Ellie's a good person. That bodes well, but I can't violate my oaths. I'm sorry. Listen, I can say that Helgi took up a job working at Clint's store just down the way. I saw him there stacking boxes the last time I picked up an order. I've got to get back to my work here, so if there's nothing else... I like helping people. I grew up around here, so I already knew basically all of my patients from day one. My parents both worked the mines, and I saw how hard that can be on the body. Made me want to help folks around here. If it's patient medical records you're after, I'll remind you, I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
We're thinking of taking Hephaestus to court with Dr. Hodgson as a witness. Now, given his situation, we're worried the defense might cast aspersions on his character, even question his mental health.
That's unfortunate, but not surprising. Look, if he agrees to testify and grants me permission, I could vouch for his well-being.
Thanks, Doc. If he does end up testifying, we'll definitely need you for the trial. Ellie Yankton will be in touch.
No promises, given patient confidentiality, but I'll do my best. I need to get back to my work now, if you don't mind.
Trade in a little bit of everything here, except mechs. Too old to be dealing with that black market stuff. Taking in the collection. Quite a sight, eh?
Funny you ask, because I'd like to know too. He owes me a sizable debt. I've seen him around, but never in one place, except when he needs money. I offered him a job, but he showed up to work drunk one day and I had to let him go. I don't have any ill will toward him. Sure, the credits I'd like to have back, but only because it'll mean he's gotten his life together. Enough that he's no longer allowed in my store. I don't like denying service to anyone, but it's the principle of the matter. Nobody is going to know where he is aside from someone who knows the underbelly of Gagarin. And that is Lizzie up at the bar. That's who you need to ask. You sure you got the right person? Helgi and I have had several run-ins in the past. For me, yes. But there's a lot of water.
We just need someone to serve as his character witness, given your long-standing reputation in the city.
Sure, I can say a few words. I like Helgi, but fair warning, I'm not gonna lie for him. If I'm testifying under oath, it'll be full of the good and the bad.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
Well, well, well. Spritz is back.
A reputation already? I'm impressed.
Slow news day, I guess. There are very few secrets here in Gagarin, Spritz.
Just makes the ones that exist much more expensive.
It is what it is. I serve drinks here, Spritz.
We were told that you are a local crime.
We serve drinks here. Here's a list of our specials for today.
There's nothing on here.
Oh, that's strange. Here, Let me fix that. Don't worry. It's just the one sale today.
Oh, right. Of course, it's a number. Here you go, Captain. All yours.
Not for this kind of deal. Sorry. Credits are easier for you explorer types, though, aren't they? Thanks for your patronage. Sending your receipt directly to you now. We'll be sure to leave a glowing review for your establishment. Don't worry. Wait. So let me get this straight. You want the bartender to testify he's not a lousy drunk? All right, I'm no lawyer, but seems like a bad move. Also, it sounds like work. And I don't work for free.
If it's about creds, you might earn a lot of brownie points with the locals if you helped with that. Points they'd spend at your bar.
As long as I'm still alive to spend it. But fine. If you get Helgi to show up, I'll take some of the heat off of him. Don't cook yourself out there.
I don't suppose you're here to tell me I've won a ticket to a new planet, huh?
Sorry, Doctor. Not today. We came to Gagarin to investigate Irvin Mandani's contract with the mining company a long time ago. Ring any bells?
Irvin, yeah. Biologist. Hunter. Yeah, I remember him. Why? Who are you people? Nah, I don't trust you. I don't even know you. So take a long spacewalk with an empty tank, will you?
Please. Irvin was once one of your colleagues. He was the one Hephaestus blamed for an ecological disaster about 20 years ago. Do you remember any of that?
No, I don't remember lies. He passed on. That's a kick in the pants, isn't it? Well, sorry for your loss and all that, but I can't bring back the dead or anything. So you can go now. Thanks.
Look, I know this is strange. We show up out of the blue about things that happened decades ago. But right now, nobody save us knows the truth. And that means we're the only ones who can clear Irvin's name.
Sounds to me like you need a scientist. And instead, you got a drunk.
And I reject that hypothesis. Once a scientist, always a scientist. And in court, you're an expert witness who can testify.
Testify? The trial is over, the verdict rendered. In case you two clowns didn't get the memo. Because I tried before, and they threatened me. 20 years ago. I still wake up in fear almost every night. They said if I ever left Gagarin, they... I left my wife to protect her. She didn't deserve any of this. Any of my mess. Believe it or not, I don't need or want your money. I made enough of it by working for massive mining corporations. I don't need to risk anything else. I remember not to talk with people who come asking questions about powerful corporations. Ellie. Ellie Yankton. But why? Ah, it doesn't matter. Nothing's changed. I can't. I cannot do that. Why is this so hard to understand here? Yeah, been a thorn in my side, back and foot for 20 years. Maybe it's time I just pull it out. I know. There's a lot on the line. You got a point. Hephaestus' scientists will just say my theories are unfounded without me to defend them.
My contact has an audio log with the identity of the speaker verified, time-stamped, everything.
If you can prove it's real, that would explain why I never showed up the first time. As opposed to, you know, Helgi being Helgi. Fine, you've convinced me. I'd be willing to testify on one condition. I want to know what happened to Irvin. Because when he disappeared, let's just say I had an epiphany. Hephaestus didn't need to say a word. That's when I knew the threats against me and my family were real.
Dr. Hawkson, it wasn't Hephaestus that took Irvin's life. It was the war. Irvin was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Caught in the crossfire.
Then I am sorry for your loss. It won't change the past for either of us. But I will testify. And maybe, wherever Irvin is, you'll be glad that we can finally stick it to those assholes at Hephaestus.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, don't get all mushy on me now. I need a drink.
Okay, you two, lay it on me. Did you find Helgi? Did he agree to testify?
Well, we've got good news and... well, that's it. Just more good news.
Okay. Does that mean he said yes? Well, that is perfect. She's probably the best person to call on should Hephaestus decide to play dirty. Well, you two have done all that you could. Now it's time to hand the baton off to me.
What do you think, Ellie? Do we have a chance?
The evidence you've gathered is impressive. It truly is.
So what's the verdict? In this case, I'd say spoilers are appreciated.
I almost never say this because I don't want to jinx it, but I think this case is a slam dunk.
Huzzah! That's what I like to hear.
I think we can do everything on our checklist. Clear Irvin of any wrongdoing, charge Hephaestus with the cover-up, and even restore Helgi, Dr. Hawkson's standing in the scientific community. All in all, though, really outstanding work. We wouldn't have gotten this far without your efforts. And I've got to imagine that wherever Irvin is, he appreciates it too.
Agreed, Ellie. And thanks for being our anchor in this. We should probably get out of Ellie's way and let her do her thing. We can talk more in private. Wow, we actually did it! Solved the case. And hopefully cleared Irvin's name. I feel like... what's the old saying? A great weight has been lifted off my shoulders? But it's actually true. I feel like I'm 80% biomass and 20% aerogel. It's a substance that is literally lighter than air, depending on the planet. Habitable planets tend to range from 1 to 2 milligrams per cubic centimeter. Most aerogels are about a tenth of that. I feel like I'm currently hovering in that territory, give or take a tenth. Come on, let's not ruin the moment. Although we did do a lot of walking, I bet I really am lighter. I hope so. It's always a tug-of-war between the workers and the mining corps. But there's one thing we've got in our favor. There's more of us than there are of them. All it takes is for the people to realize it. Ellie would know better than I, but I doubt it'll be anytime soon. These things tend to involve a lot of red tape. It's a special kind of adhesive that makes you stick to old filing cabinets and manila envelopes. I'm feeling great. Although I could do with some wine and cheese. Why stop at emotional satisfaction when we can indulge in the culinary too? But if I can be serious for a moment, thank you. I couldn't have done this without your help. Ah, that's sweet. But it wasn't just for me. It was for Irv. And of course, we can't forget our new friend Harvey. In fact, Harvey's got a little explorer in him too. According to this slate I found, turns out that our spiky friend's been all across the galaxy. The plant? From Irvin's apartment? Just look at the slate. It'll explain. I doubt it. Harvey's a wanderer. Getting lost is how he finds his way home. We've been through a lot, haven't we? I had forgotten what it was like to work with someone so closely. When you joined Constellation, I didn't know what to expect. I was just reflecting on everything we've been through, you know? It's impressive. On top of everything else we've done together and with Constellation, yeah, I think so. Investigating Irvin's case with you is something I'll remember forever. I've come to realize that some events, some people, stand out as pillars of my life. It's whatever leaves an impression on you, right? Moments that define our lives, where our future diverged from our expectations. People who changed you, or people you've changed. Is it? Well, I guess it is. You noticed that, huh? I suppose I should just keep going and get it all out of my system. It'll do me some good. We only get a brief moment in this universe to interact, to feel, to be who we are and experience the range of emotions that our bodies and minds have evolved to comprehend. Maybe I did. But this is all from my heart, my friend. Sure. Our bodies are all we have, really. Humans are physical, which allows us to be social. This allows us to interact with others on a natural, almost primordial level. And these interactions can be fleeting or drawn out substantially, if you know what I mean. Anyway, if one is fortunate, you might even notice events and people changing you while it is in motion. Well, That's what I'm asking you, actually. I know I certainly am. I've explored many worlds, and I've worked with Constellation for most of my life. I cherish those memories. But you have changed me as a person forever. I don't want to look back years from now and wonder what if. I need to know what you think about us. No, not always. There are many ways to make someone feel loved. And you have done well in that regard. But I need this moment in my mind. I need to be able to look back and remember what we had in our hearts right here, right now. Hot damn. Yes! I mean to say, I feel the same way. I haven't missed your very welcome and affectionate hints. I still grin when I think about some of the things you've said. And just so you know, I loved it every single time. But before we go on further, are you really ready to build love into our friendship? This is a huge step, you know. I've done this before, of course, and my love for Irvin will always be there. But I have room in my mind and heart to love again, and I'm willing to try. I'm ready to. This is the moment I was hoping for. The moment that I will remember forever. My heart is racing. This is an adventure in itself, isn't it?
We should catch up sometime.
Beleza, conseguimos concluir então a missão ali do Barrett. E agora a gente precisa avançar um pouco mais ali, né? Em suas interações para seguir ali com a próxima missão também.
So I was thinking about our relationship and what it means in a multiversal reality. There are probably universes out there where we don't get together, and universes where we're a throuple, and of course, ones like this one, where we do. It's both a fait accompli that we find love somewhere, but also highly improbable that we do in any one variation.
Protecting your precious home from ruffians and vagrants gets me nothing?
As in the work of a divine agency? I wouldn't go that far. The odds may be exponential, but they can still be measured. Also, it's more romantic if it's our choice, right? The miracle is that we overcame every missed sign, every swerve, every random extinction event to get here. Not that we should be inviting any asteroids over for dinner. No need to tempt fate. Even so, the path taken may have a few more bends. Imagine us being bitter rivals, or even arch enemies, only to find common ground over a slice of tiramisu and cake-flavored chunks. That being said, it took me a while to get to my happy place. I may have been happy-go-lucky out of the box, but since then, I've gotten a few dings. And when we discovered the multiverse was real, man, there were moments I was drowning in self-pity. Yeah, I guess I don't like to be vulnerable. Part of the problem of having a soft and squishy center. But then I look at how soft you can be, and still manage to stand up to the bad guys, and I think, let's change the paradigm. I guess what I'm saying is there's a chance being in this situation would have crushed me. Knowing there were other Irvins out there, other lives where we were happy, I would have thought to myself, why me? Why am I alone? But that's not the case, is it? And while I will always love Irvin, the fact is he was from another universe. One that passed with him. The me that's standing here now, he wants to live in this universe. For as long as it takes. With you. Partly, of course. I mean, I'll never stop loving him. He will always be my husband. But I'm allowed to be human. To love someone else, to be happy. I know he would have felt the same way. But, you know, even if he didn't, well, life does in fact go on, because it must. Oh, I love it when you know what you want. You just light up with energy. I'm honestly a bit overwhelmed. But in the good, happy brain.exe is malfunctioning kind of way. Vasco would probably tell me that human emotions just overcomplicate things. But it is who we are. What if I wanted it to be more formal? I want to be your husband. I want to hear you call me that. And I love you, you know? I think everything we've discovered helped me conceptualize all this loss. Once I was able to do that, I could love myself enough to love you. And I was just wondering if, I didn't prepare this far. I miss being called that. And nothing makes me happier to hear you say that to me as well. Married. I was so happy just being with you that I forgot about those societal rituals. Humans develop these things to declare our allegiances and define who we protect and provide for. Over time, it became more about celebrating love and hope for the future. When Irvin and I married, we picked a place that we both loved, that was strongly symbolic. We had tons of friends and family. It was a big deal, and it was exactly what he wanted. This time, my only request is that Vasco officiates for us. He's a machine, I know, but he's family. Oh, you know, I didn't think about that, but she would be perfect too. I'm gonna leave it up to you to decide, though. I just want it to be a small ceremony. Don't get me wrong, I love them all, but no. I want this moment for ourselves. And also Vasco. I can't wait to see the look on Vasco's face. I mean, you know what I mean. Whew. Big breath. Okay, I'm ready. And I can't wait to say I do.
Your face indicates a question is pending. Yes, Captain.
Hey, Vasco, my friend, my pal, old buddy.
Detecting incoming request. Significant chance of socially awkward proposition. Processing. Not enough valid relationship data to affirm such a formality. Human units have not made affectionate contact with Vasco prior to this proposition. Ambiguity detected in syntax. Please restate intentions. Barrett, verify.
It's true, Vasco. And I'd like you to be there, my old friend.
Request approved. Due to hormonal disturbances, there was a 60% chance of this outcome. So I have prepared a formal procedure in advance. Please provide the coordinate details. Human physiology can sometimes be an indicator of upcoming life-changing events, like marriage. For example, Barrett's pupil size increases 4 to 5% when you are together. The probability of additional romantic commitment was anticipated.
Vasco, I know this is the best way for you to interpret human emotions, but measuring my eyes is a little creepy. Just saying.
Noted. I will amend my behavior for future interactions. Thank you for explaining.
It's okay, buddy. Honestly, you're not wrong. We are in love, and hormones aren't known for being subtle. Be still my beating heart.
That will initiate a funeral procedure, Barrett.
It's an expression, Vasco. Continue Neptual's Procedure 2.0, please.
Human humor is borderline grim at times.
Vasco, my friend, you have nothing to apologize for.
Your patience is appreciated. As you requested, the wedding procedure may now begin.
Go on, Vasco. We're ready.
Yes, Captain.
Vasco, we're ready now.
First, I require input from both users to proceed. Please provide your spousal address, wife, husband, partner, or some other title.
My second marriage. My first wife. I never knew I could have so much love still, but it grows every moment I'm with you. Please go with husband for me, Vasco. Or you can refer to me as the amazing husband if you want.
Declined. Husband is sufficient. Next prompt. There are 2 versions of the ceremony. Succinct and verbose. Please decide. Succinct covers the legalities, and no more. Verbose includes imitative human pleasantries.
I'm marrying a romantic here, and I absolutely love it.
Confirmed. More input is required. Please state any modifications needed. Within reason, I can adjust the procedure to accommodate certain requests.
Oh, what if we had the reception first, then we did the ceremony? Wait. You know what? Never mind. I'm just hungry.
If you have other requests, such as custom vows or a generalized blessing, please inform me.
No stand-up routine, Vasco? Well, we can work on that functionality later. A blessing? Well, it's your wedding too, so of course. You know, I know it means something to you, and this is your moment as well as mine.
Conflict detected. Both ideologies will be accommodated.
That works for me. Mutual respect. That's our shared belief.
Confirmed. Please do not emit further noises until prompted. Initiating nuptials procedure 2.1. Please pause hormone production until the end of the ceremony. Let us begin. Welcome, affectionate humans, robots, animals, plants, fungi, bacteria.
Vasco, bring it back, buddy.
Skipping additional formalities. By committing to each other legally, you signify your desire to merge lives. Amundsen Barrett, do you take this person as your lawfully wedded wife?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, right? I mean, I do. I do.
The same question will be posited to all parties. Do you take Amundsen Barrett as your lawfully wedded husband?
That's a relief.
The vow exchange is now complete. Barrett, you requested a moment to present a token of affection.
Yes, this is going to seem weird, but here. Of course. This plant is Harvey. I think it's one of a kind. So this little guy, Harvey, symbolizes a lot of things. He was rescued once from a dying planet and once from a windowless apartment. When it comes down to it, he's got an explorer's heart. He's brave, resilient, and just a tad bit weird. Kind of like us. And while the ones we love are forever in our thoughts, with this gift, only you hold my heart in your hands.
The material gesture is now complete. Blessings upon the union of these two beings. May you be imbued with energy from your bond of love by the power vested in this unit by the authority of New Atlantis. I now pronounce you Barrett. Congratulations.
Com isso a gente concluiu ali, né, a parte de relacionamento, né, com o Barrett. Só mostrando pra vocês ali também qual que foi, né, o presente lá, que é este daqui, certo? E bora com mais algumas interações ainda.
Thank you for that adventure. I hope later tonight we can continue exploring together. Waking up with you is the highlight of my day, and I'm literally an adventurer. Wait there. Let me savor this moment. Perfection. I've experienced solar storms, meteor showers, volcanic eruptions, but you, oh, are something else. Hello there. So, next time, let's switch off the gravity, okay? Good morning, you. We could cuddle more, but adventure really does await. You fell asleep while I was telling you about that time Yeah, never mind. It's okay. I love your sleepy face. We could stay in bed forever. Or we could jump up and explore. What do you say? I'm speechless. And that's saying something. I'd be delighted if you did. Considering how many variables must have been negotiated in order for us to meet and fall in love, I'd say I'm the luckiest man alive. I was just about to go looking for you, just to say hi. So, hi. I should say this more often, but you are the gravitational well that draws me into a stable orbiting pattern. Oh no, what's wrong? Wait, what? We've been through so much. What's changed? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter what's changed. If this is how you feel, then that's enough for me. If I have any say in it, then I'd like that very much. Then that's it. It is what it is. Well, life is ever changing, ever adapting. It is our greatest strength to branch out when something isn't working. When I lost Irvin, I couldn't move forward. You showed me how to do that. I'm gonna need some time, but I'll be okay. I can do it this time.
Beleza, pessoal, e é isso aí, né? A gente terminou aqui as interações, toda a história e missão de envolvimento ali também com o Barrett dessa vez, certo? mostrando pra vocês aí desde o início até o final. Claro que isso daqui demora pra caramba, porque tem que explorar o game, tem que passar um bom tempo ali com os Companions também. Se gostou, deixa o like, se inscreva no canal. Valeu, falou!